With a world conceptualized by two of the greatest creative forces of our time, Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin, Elden Ring is rich with lore, characters, and storylines that resonate with players. When it comes to expanding on this world, a new film in production has the opportunity to portray the lands between in a brand new way. Today on Game Rant, let's figure out what Elden Ring storyline would best suit this brand new film. The Elden Ring film is real. 3 years following the release of Elden Ring, about 1 year after the release of Shadow of the Erdtree, and a matter of days before the release of Elden Ring Night Rain, rumor has become truth, as A24 has confirmed they'll be producing an adaptation of FromSoftware's 2022 open-world magnum opus. The director chosen to lead the film is Alex Garland, who you may be familiar with as the director of 2024's Civil War, in addition to Annihilation and Ex Machina, among others. Having a history of working on several films with A24, it makes sense that this production house would recruit him for something as major as an adaptation of one of gaming's biggest new reigning kings. Garland's projects tend to be a bit divisive in terms of how they portray their stories, with films like Men and Annihilation sparking some debate online due to their more abstract style of presentation. So you would expect that to be a match made in heaven for Elden Ring, a game with a very unconventional narrative structure for most gamers. All that in mind, a major tentpole film will likely need a solid throughline to get viewers invested, because this film is for more than just fans of the game. Strictly adapting the journey of the Tarnished to become new Elden Lord seems incredibly daunting and, more importantly, incredibly expensive. So realistically, we need to look at the characters and storylines that established the world of Elden Ring to find something worth bringing to life via film. I say this because FromSoftware games typically take place well after what would be considered the main story of the world. Players are living through the consequences of whatever grand epic they uncover through item descriptions that happened a long time ago. In Elden Ring, one of the most pivotal storylines that sets the lands between on the course of corruption we find them in when meeting Melina and Torrent is referred to as the Night of Black Knives. Out of all the numerous plot threads of Elden Ring, the Night of Black Knives would arguably make the most sense to adapt to film for a number of reasons. Yes, it's focused on relatively normal-looking characters in a magical kingdom before its collapse, which would probably be easier to translate to screens, at least on a first attempt at an Elden Ring film, but most notably because the structure of this story involves high stakes, a solid enough outline on how to get from A to B to C, and a suspenseful plot of betrayal that audiences unfamiliar with the game are historically eager to get behind. But what players of Elden Ring will be able to get behind with this story is the fact that it is completely centralized on one of the game's most iconic fan-favorite characters, Ranni the Witch. Before she became the blue doll we all know her as, Ranni was the child of Radahn and Rennala, two incredibly powerful legends in Elden Ring lore. Ranni and her siblings exist as demigods in the lands between, with Ranni gaining extra merit, seeing as the two fingers marked her an Empyrean, like Queen Marika, signifying that she could be capable of succeeding the queen when the time came. Ranni, however, chose to defy her destiny of following the commands of the Greater Will by scheming to steal the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade, and the shadow of Queen Marika. Her goal was simple: free herself from this destiny in effort to tear down the Golden Order and free humanity, ushering in a new age. But this does not go as planned, an ending that would have audiences begging for a sequel. Another demigod, Godwyn the Golden, has his soul killed, leaving an ever-growing husk of a body while simultaneously, Ranni sacrifices her own flesh to channel her soul into the blue version of herself we all know. In the end, the direct consequence of this assassination plot leads to the shattering of the Elden Ring by Queen Marika. Seeing as most of this storyline involves intricate scheming, plotting, and a high-stakes assassination attempt with a main cast comprised of a secret organization and a branch of Elden Ring's royal family, it would seem straightforward and conventional enough to illustrate on screen. Garland's flair and hopefully some great practical effects for the storyline would help portray the past world of Elden Ring for players in a new way and attract new audiences for what will likely be a 2 to 3 hour film. While fans, upon hearing the announcement of the film, may expect to see the grand bosses of Elden Ring brought to life only to be slain by a nameless protagonist one by one, as we've seen with Elden Ring, the first release was only the beginning of this sensation. Launching Elden Ring to the silver screen in a familiar yet unexpected direction that directly tees up the game we all played through may be the best bet here. That way, players will not be going into the film with the expectation of how their playthrough played out or their interpretation of the world, and instead be able to get behind characters they have an attachment to. After all, choosing to focus on Ranni as the main character would mean introducing her siblings, like Radahn. Introducing Radahn to audiences in this film to potentially follow him in a hypothetical sequel exploring the consequences of the Night of Black Knives, aka The Shattering, would surely get game fans and general moviegoers very excited. After all, everyone loves a bombastic epic, especially one that could end with the corruption of Caelid. There are plenty of other avenues to explore in adapting the dense history of the Lands Between. But what storyline or character would you most want to see make it to the big screen? Are you excited to see a character walk through a poison swamp without playing it yourself? Let us know what you think, and if you're planning on seeing the Elden Ring film on opening weekend. As always, thanks for watching, and you can stay tuned to Game Rant for more videos like this.